This is bee removal number 2, courtesy of my son Xavier. Since the first bee removal that we did from my friend's house a little while back, I guess a few months ago, he's been advertising his services as a bee removal. I don't know the proper name for such a thing, but this is what he's been doing. So this is a job that he needed my help on because he went out to assess the situation when he got the call, and he saw that he was going to need to have some stucco removed. Now, he's not able to do that just yet. Hopefully he'll decide that he wants to learn it instead of calling me. But since he knows that I've done handyman work over the years, and he knew that I could remove stucco because I've done this with him before, he decided to give me a call. So I came over, and this of course is on the second story over an apartment complex, the front of an apartment complex facing the street. So we had to get up there and handle that. So I started out by getting the grinder and everything set up, and I've been able to remove some of the stucco. So what I'll do is I'll remove as much stucco as I can, and I'll have him come in to take out the hive as we go. Now, these bees have been in there for a very long time, although the manager of the apartment complex hasn't seen them this time. Now, if you look to the left of the building, just before the end of it, in that space over there, there was a bee colony there. They removed it, and maybe the person that removed it didn't take out everything that he needed to or wash it down good enough, because if you don't, the bees will come back. So they came back, but I don't think they could get to the part where they were before, so they went to the right of it. And possibly when they took out the first bees, they did not put any stucco back into this section, because this section from the roof line until about 4 or 5 feet up, there's no insulation in this wall. That's why the bees were able to get in and actually have a place to build their hive. So as I'm pulling out the stucco, he's coming in and he's removing the hive. So this is the way we'll go until we get all the way to the top. Now, I won't be doing too much shooting around here because, as you can see, we're on the second story. Or maybe not quite the second story, maybe at least 15 to 20 feet off the ground. We won't be doing too much walking around up here because it is getting hot out here, because the sun is coming up, as you can see in the scene here. As the sun comes up, and it is summer, the roof shingles get hot. Moving around on them a lot can cause the particles to come up, which will eventually damage the roof if we keep walking around on it too much and moving back and forth. So I won't be moving around too much right now. The camera is on a stationary platform, so I'll take it off a few times. But with the two of us moving back and forth and me doing the grinder and moving around, it's creating a little bit of a mess up here on the roof. So I want to keep everything nice because we don't want to cause any problems for the apartment owner, the manager, anything like that, and having to patch this roof up here. So we're trying to be as careful as possible. And of course, I don't want to damage the stucco too much. I've cut it where right to the left, if you can see where the bees are, a 2x4 can be put there all the way to the top, screwed into the 2x4 that's already there, and the 2x4 on the right. You could place another 2x4 there and then patch your stucco back up, which I'm trying to do as nicely as possible so it isn't a major ordeal for whoever repairs it. A lot of times in construction, you'll find a trade that come before you sometimes doesn't care much about who's coming behind them, so they're not thinking about who's going to do work behind them and be more careful about what they're doing. But anyway, this is what's happening here. So as he takes the hive out, I'm just going to hang out a bit and do a little shooting. Right now I'm off the tripod, so I'm shooting a little bit here. Once he gets finished, I'll go ahead and take this stucco up a little bit more, actually cut it out a little bit more going towards the top, and from the roof line to the top of the overhang is about 4 or 5 feet. So that's a good little space in there. So I'm going to have to go all the way back. I'm going to have to go all the way up so that I make sure I get everything and we get all the bees out. He can treat it, remove the bees, put them in what he called, I forget the thing that he calls them, but a new temporary home for the bees. Then he'll take those away, and hopefully he's able to find the queen. That way all the bees will go wherever she is and they'll create a new home as opposed to hanging out here. So if you can see, as we're going, most of the bees are going upwards. So we're thinking that the queen may have went upwards in the hive so that maybe she's fertilizing more eggs or something like that. But as you'll see during the video, most of the bees are traveling up the wall as opposed to flying away because their duty is to protect the queen. So hopefully we'll be able to find the queen before this whole thing is over. So this is a little slow motion shot just of the bees and their congregation inside there because, as I say, they're huddling going towards the queen, so they're trying to find out where she is and protect her. So right now, this will be my last and final cut of the stucco, which is going to take me all the way up underneath the eaves. So once this happens, I'll be able to pull the last remaining bit of stucco out, and he'll be able to remove the hive all the way up to beneath the 2x4 that is going horizontal underneath the stucco. Once that happens, he can go ahead and finish getting the hive out. Then we'll be almost finished. Now, what has happened, since you won't see it towards the end, is that he'll actually get some of the bees in their new home, but he left it there for another day or so, but he was never able to find the queen, so the rest of the bees flew away to find a new home. But the main thing is that these bees won't be coming back here to live and cause trouble for the apartment owner and the manager. So that was the main object, is to get rid of the bees without killing them, because bees are detrimental to our agriculture, our pollination of the fruits and vegetables, trees, and everything that's grown around Southern California and the rest of the world. My son, fortunately, is trying to preserve as many bees as he can. He now has several hives that he's watching over and attempting to grow to make larger or grow the population so that he's able to harvest honey at some point. So he was going to take these bees also, but sometimes you're not able to get all the bees. But the main thing is not killing all the bees just for the sake of killing them. So I would say another job well done, because these bees, 90%, 95% of them lived. Of course, there's always some that are going to get crushed or that's going to die from trying to sting you or whatever. So another job well done for bee removal number 2. Hopefully there will be more. I would like to actually follow his career if he decides to make this a career, and see where he goes with it, because I think it's always good to have video of beginning stages, middle stages, and how much ever you can throughout a person's career, or however you want to see it. So this is good exercise for me. I was able to help him get a little bit further in what he's attempting to do, and it's always good to help out and work with the kids and see what they're up to. So I'll let this video play out a few more minutes, and we're going to call it a day. We'll see you on the next video or the next bee removal, whichever comes first, and we'll just take it from there. So thanks for tuning in. If you stayed around this long, I really do appreciate it. So we will see you on the next video. We are out.